Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Digital EDU Dialogues podcast. I'm Angela Britcher, and joining me today is Karisa King, Dissertation Coach and Strategist. Thank you so much for joining me today, Karisa.
Thank you for having me.
And we are talking about this journey of a dissertation and that so many people get stuck at ABD, and you are our expert in coaching people to get from ABD to PhD and to finish their dissertation. And so today we're going to share some strategies and some key areas to focus on while doing that. But we want to start by talking about your journey through the dissertation process, because you had a positive experience and that's really inspired you to help others in this process. So share with us about your journey from getting started to getting that doctorate.
Absolutely. So in 2017, my family had just moved to Joint Base McGuire-Dix Lakehurst in New Jersey. My husband is active duty Army. He was being stationed there. I was starting a new job at a new school. My 12-year-old son was starting 6th grade at his 5th school. And I had this wild idea that it was time for me to pursue my doctorate. It was a decision that I had been thinking about for a while, and it was just really fueled by that desire for personal and professional growth. So I took the plunge, and I spent the next 3 years and 2 months with a laptop on my lap at all times. I can remember that image of me, the laptop balanced on my lap. It became like a constant companion in my life everywhere. It followed me everywhere. My lunch breaks at work, in the car during drives, at my son's baseball games, at the local swimming pool, on the couch, literally everywhere. I went through 3 different laptops during that 3 years. I vividly recall on more than one occasion going with my husband and my son to the motocross track because they were really big into riding dirt bikes and racing. And I'd take my laptop with me, connect it to my hotspot, sit in the camp chair inside the trailer, and work on my dissertation throughout the whole time.
Well, you make such a good point that we hear from so many people at Professor Services in the BAB group, and that's that challenge of balancing the workload of a day job plus working on your dissertation plus family. And I know you had shared with me this idea that you just took your laptop with you everywhere you went. And talk about how you work with people when they are feeling that stress and saying, oh, there's no way I can get this done, or how do I get this done when I've got all these things going on?
Yeah, so, obtaining my doctorate was not easy. I faced so many challenges throughout the journey. I started gathering data in the middle of the pandemic, which was almost impossible to do when you weren't face-to-face with students and teachers. During those 3 years and 2 months, I moved 2 more times. I rewrote so many times I lost count. I changed my topic like more than once, more than twice. I'm pretty sure I lost count. And then in August 2018, I went to a residency for my dissertation or my doctorate program, and something happened that changed my entire journey. I found an accountability partner. So my accountability partner, she was someone who was more than like just made sure I had written so many pages throughout the week. She supported me. It was far beyond just like, checking off tasks on my to-do list. She really supported me as a whole person. She provided a safe space for me, offered empathy, encouragement when the journey felt like completely overwhelming. She was there. She provided like invaluable feedback and constructive criticism, while challenging me also to really think creatively and critically at my own work. I really, truly believe that having that accountability partner during my dissertation journey enriched not only my academic experience, but also my personal growth. They were there to celebrate milestones and achievements, no matter how small, no matter how big. And they reminded me just of my resilience and the capability to overcome anything that was thrown at me.
You make such a great point that the dissertation process, the process of getting your doctorate, is so much more than academic research. That this is an experience of personal and professional growth, and the importance of having someone who gets that and supports the whole person, not just doing some editing or research question help. supporting that whole person.
Yes, it was just an invaluable experience for me. We are still friends. We talk all the time. She was also obtaining her doctorate at the time and ended up stopping, and just recently reached out to me again and said, I want to do this. Can you be my accountability partner?
Mhm.
So, I'm starting that journey with her, kind of roles reversed almost. And I'm just really excited for where it's going to take her.
It's such an exciting time, and to hear, I think for so many of our listeners, this idea that there are people out there that want to support the whole person as well. And when you and I talked before, you had identified some key areas of support that are helpful for people as they are going through this process. So let's talk about a few of those, because some of them do seem that they are more academic focused, because people certainly need that support as well as that whole person support. So let's start with research design assistance and talk about how that is helpful as you're starting this process, or
Yeah.
even if you're in the middle of it. You said you changed topics and you had the challenges of working during the pandemic.
Yes. So the research design assistance really is going to help you, the student, with developing and refining research questions, um, providing some assistance in formulating like really clear and concise and relevant research questions that align with the objectives of your study, which is very important. Some guidance on refining research questions to ensure that they are conducive to your dissertation. Some suggestions for framing research questions within the context of the existing literature and theoretical frameworks, very important. Determining the most suitable approach for addressing research questions, collaborative brainstorming sessions, kind of to design a research plan that encompasses all of the necessary components of the dissertation as well.
And you also talked about your process of writing and rewriting. So talk about the idea of an accountability partner and dissertation coach helping with that feedback and revision process.
Yes, I think that was one of the biggest struggles and challenges for me, because I felt like I was just rewriting over and over the same paragraph. Um, so this really benefited me. But some feedback and revision assistance can be such as ongoing support and feedback throughout the research process. This can include meetings to address challenges or concerns, very clear and specific feedback, highlighting what's working well and areas that need improvement, and encouragement to view feedback as a valuable opportunity for growth and improvement. Feedback's not always bad. You have to really look at it as a valuable learning experience.
Mhm. And you shared how you finished your doctorate in 3 years and 2 months. And we hear so many stories about people getting stuck somewhere in the process or taking much longer to complete. So, talk about the role of a coach and accountability partner in helping people stay on track and with time management.
Sure. I think, the biggest thing is just a manageable tasks, short goals, looking at larger goals, breaking them down so that you feel comfortable with those goals. Um, Working collaboratively to establish clear, specific, and achievable short-term goals and those long-term goals that align with the students' priorities and values and where they're at in life. Um, Spring is a really busy time for me, so less work was done during the springtime.
Mhm.
Summer, as teachers, we're off in the summer. More work was done during the summertime. So providing those personalized strategies and techniques for effectively managing time and prioritizing tasks is really important, as well as like assistance in creating structured schedules that just balance life, like I talked about.
Mhm. And you make such a good point that because this is a process and it's a long process, that we don't have to do it all at one time. So this idea that spring is busy, so planning for more work in the summer and thinking about how to adjust your schedule over the course of a few semesters, over the course of a year, instead of just, I got to get all of this done every Friday. I think is a really helpful way to think about it. Along those lines, we hear from so many people that they just start to get burnt out on their research, burnt out on their topic, burned out on the process of taking their laptop everywhere. So talk about the aspect of motivating people as they're working through this process when you are their coach.
Yeah, and this was a big one for me too, because I did get burnt out multiple times. So it was so important for that accountability partner to offer words of encouragement, positive reinforcement, praise that helped really boost my morale and my confidence as I was working towards the completion of my dissertation. Recognizing and celebrating progress, again, no matter how small, that's something to recognize and celebrate. Providing those reassurance during moments of difficulty or doubt when I'm rewriting something over and over and over again, for them just to say, that's okay. That's what's supposed to happen. And then just working on and utilizing motivational strategies that are tailored, again, to the individual's preference and personalities. Everybody's different. What might work a motivation strategy for one person might not work for the other. I know we chatted about this. I'm somebody, you can send me an email, good job. And that's my motivation to keep it going. Somebody else, might need a little card sent into the mail. Hey, you got this. Keep working at it. So just really tailoring those motivational strategies for the student.
That is such a great idea. I love that idea of just really determining what motivates each person. And you just reminded me, I literally have a little note on my bulletin board in my office from my capstone advisor and my master's years ago, just that little, like, you're doing great. Like, someone to remind me in the midst of everything, I'm going to get this done, and it's going well. So discovering those things that motivate each one of us. And I think building on this, what happens when, as a student, you are so stressed out and thinking it's end of semester for me as an adjunct, the emails are pouring in. I've got one class ending this week, one class ending in 2 weeks, and everyone's sending the messages of, I'm so stressed, I gotta get it all done. Talk about how you coach students through, the things that are going to happen in life while they're working on this process.
Yeah. So, stress management and just self-care is so important throughout the whole process. So encouraging that self-care and the well-being, emphasizing the importance of maintaining that healthy balance between work and personal life and writing your dissertation. I love yoga. I do yoga every week. And during that time, it was so important for me to make sure that I went to my weekly yoga session. Of course, somebody else might be a runner. So it's very important to make sure that they're doing their, daily or weekly run, but encouraging those time management techniques and then offering practical tips and strategies for integrating self-care and just, so that you don't have that FOMO. You're not, you don't have that fear of missing out on life. I think, that was one thing that I had a fear of. And being able to take that computer with me everywhere, the laptop with me everywhere, really helped. I didn't miss the day-to-day events of my family, what was going on, what was happening, and I didn't miss that. But it can be scary.
Mm-hmm. And again, that's something we hear so often from people, that idea of, I'm going to miss out. Mm-hmm. So how do I balance that? And what I'm hearing overall from you is just really the idea of mentorship. Like, I've been here before and through this process, and here's what I've learned. And kind of walking alongside someone through this process. And you had a few other things and ideas that you wanted to share along the ideas of key areas of support.
I think it's just really important, to understand the student, get to know them. I'd love to start with just a meeting, a face-to-face meeting, via, online, and just get to know them. I think getting to know them, building that rapport, establishing the relationship will really then let me know, where they're struggling. Because I think everybody's kind of struggling in a different place. Maybe you're struggling in just the motivation. You just can't do it. Just can't get it done. Maybe you're struggling with where I struggled with, and I just felt like I was rewriting the same paragraph over and over again. So just, getting to know that person to kind of find out where their areas of struggles are, but also finding out where their strengths are, what they're doing really well in, because that will help as well.
And one of the things that you and I had talked about was working with people differently, that, when you meet with someone the first time, it doesn't have to be a video chat. And so talk about that, how you as a coach are adapting to what the student needs.
Right. So, some people don't have the time to sit here in front of a computer and meet with me one-on-one. You have life, you're doing a dissertation, you have a family, you have work. So phone calls, texts, are just as just as motivating, just as supporting, as sitting in a meeting via camera. And I think that's really important. Again, that's just getting to know that person, and finding out what's best for you. Are you a text person? Do you like a phone call? Do you like mail? Some people love getting things in the mail, and that's all they need is that handwritten card or a note. And some people really want to meet one-on-one like this and get down to the nitty-gritty. I'm having some issues with figuring out my research questions. Could you support me with that?
Anything else that you want to share that you think is important for people as they are working on their dissertation and working on this journey?
I just, don't be scared. Don't be scared. Take the plunge. Do it. Professionally and personally, it was, one of the hardest things I've ever done. But I'm so grateful that I was able to find that accountability partner to help me through the process. They were really one of the main reasons why I got through my dissertation in such a short amount of time. It was a very short amount of time, and I really, they're one of those main reasons. I also went to residencies, which I think are very important. If the school that you're attending offers those residencies, I highly recommend attending those. You meet like-minded people who are going through the same process that you're going through. So it's really great to, establish those relationships and network.
Fantastic. Karisa, we're so excited to have you as part of the BAB group and professor services and offering dissertation coaching and strategies with our customers. And thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much.
In a world where academic success is paramount, achieving dissertation excellence can be daunting. But fear not. Introducing Professor Services, your trusted companion on the journey to success. With tailored coaching, expert feedback, and unwavering support, we refine your ideas, structure your arguments, and guide you with confidence to completion. Don't let doubts hold you back. Step into success with Professor Services today.